With a clean slate begins season 8. How do you respond to what Boria is saying? The very compelling arguments about why IPL season 7 needs to be suspended.
But to be honest, even if you go through the entire probe, what is going to change? The guilty get punished and the game will carry on.
But right now you don't know whether you're watching the World Wrestling Federation or you're watching a real cricket match. You don't know how much of it is fixed. There's a big question mark in everybody's mind.
How will that change from IPL season 8? If somebody has to get into malpractices, they would do it in season 8 as well.
Even if you were to suspend season 7, how do you know that season 8 would be different, Mr. Motaya? Players could still do the same thing.
No, I'll tell you. You see, now season 7, part of it you are wanting to have it in Dubai, in the Middle East. And that's where that is the root of all this betting scandals. And you want to have part of it there, and how are you going to manage it? It's not the right choice.
So I think the most
important
why
have it in
for the
Dubai,
BCCI, and I've said this for a long period of time, we must have a very, very strong ACU. With people with, who've got vast experience, whether it's Dubai, whether the Middle East. I understand where Mr. Mutaya is coming from, completely understand his sentiments, but don't forget, with Srishant, Ajit Chandela, they did it in our own backyard.
No, but then there is a context to Dubai, there is a context to the United Arab Emirates. This is the heart of gambling. Some would argue this is where the troubles for modern cricket really began. Mr. Balaji, would it not be appropriate for IPL season 7 to be suspended given the sheer amount of doubt that now hangs over this format of the game?
See, first of all, I would actually agree with Nikhil, because see, the thing is, if you suspend IPL 7, what is the guarantee that IPL 8 is going to be clean? That's the first point. And the second thing is, see, 6 players have been named in the so-called sealed report, and 3 players have already been suspended. Why spoil one season of good cricket for hundreds of cricketers because 9 guys are guilty? I mean, weed them out. And the players who are playing the game correctly, who are playing for
Boria Majumdar, respond to that. There are 8 players who've supposedly been found guilty. Do a full probe, act against them. Why hold everyone else guilty? And what's the guarantee that season 8 will actually be clean and we won't have the same mess once more, Boria?
So Rahul, this is most funny and amusing. Nikhil Chopra and Mr. Balaji are telling us that what is the guarantee season 8 will be clean. So if there is no guarantee, so we will go ahead with an unclean tournament.
No.
So you will go ahead with the sword hanging over the IPL.
No, Boria, you're not getting the point. It's not a matter of sword hanging. We are just saying that go after the guilty. Why are you painting all the other guys with the same brush? Go after the guilty.
How will you know who's guilty before the probe is over? How will you know who's guilty before the probe is over? Let the CBI or a national investigative agency do the probe.
Absolutely. Give it to the national investigative agency.
That's the point. So once the probe is not over, how can you have season 7?
Well,
the probe will take 3, 4,
at the end of the day, that sealed envelope with the 6 players or whoever they are, you either suspend them. With Mr. Mudgal naming those 6 players, shouldn't they be suspended?
Have you read the annexures? Sorry, Mr. Balaji, if you've read the annexures, it says it's not about 6 players. In fact, there are more names. There are more names than 6 players, and I can tell you on record. But the fact is, whether these players are actually guilty or not, whether there are more players involved, if you check the Mumbai police transcripts, the fact is, until and unless the probe is over, you will not know. So let the probe be over, let the guilty be punished, let the IPL come back.
What if the probe doesn't finish in a year? In India, probes go on for 15, 20 years. What if the probe doesn't finish in a year, Boria?
Ridiculous. I mean, if the probe doesn't finish in a year, then what do we do with this tournament? It's a $1 billion tournament. Let the CBI be given a time frame by the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court of the land, Rahul, tells you do this in 4 months or in 5 months, I'm sure with the wherewithal of the CBI or whatever, they will have to do it.
Should the entire IPL season 7 be suspended as Boria is arguing, or would that be punishing a whole bunch of players who are not guilty and would be held guilty for the sins committed by someone else, Boria? Mr. Ezekiel.
Rahul, you're asking me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rahul, you know what my views on IPL are right from the start.
Yes.
On your channel, what my views have been. My view is that IPL is so rotten to the core that it has to be scrapped altogether. So there's no question of IPL 7 or 8. I feel IPL is corrupt beyond redemption. And why only point fingers at the players? Their officials, their owners, already a couple of franchises have been abolished. I say abolish the entire IPL, clean out the entire rot and stop this nonsense and this corruption altogether.
No, but is that not rather extreme? why are you trying to punish everyone? There are certain people who've been found guilty of wrongdoing. How do you respond, Nikhil, to the arguments, the sweeping generalizations being made by Gulu?
No, I guess this is all just like a knee-jerk reaction at this moment in time. What are the two teams that are in question? The two teams are Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals. If anything, you can suspend those two teams to go ahead and finish the probe. What are the other teams? They are nowhere in any transcript, whatever I have read, through the studios or whatever, no other team's name is mentioned.
Why hold everyone guilty when there are two teams whose owners are in a spot of bother, their players are under question? Why crucify everyone, Gulu Ezekiel?
You see, the point is, Rahul, right from the beginning of IPL, there's always been a suspicion, and already the Pune team has been withdrawn and Kochi Tuskers was abolished, and anybody who gets involved with IPL, it's like they're tainted by association. The entire structure of the IPL was corrupt and full of loopholes from the very beginning, because the whole structure was made by the so-called creator of IPL in order to
are those
take
sweeping generalizations, Boria, or is there merit in what Gulu Ezekiel is arguing tonight?
No, I don't think the IPL should be scrapped altogether. I don't agree with Gulu on that. But the two teams point that you just raised, if you read the Mumbai Police transcripts, it's not about two teams. There's Bangalore. Bets were being placed about who makes the semi-finals. It's about Sunrisers Hyderabad. So it's not about two teams. So that's what I'm emphasizing. But you cannot scrap the tournament as a whole. I'm very clear on that. I'm clear on the fact, let there be a CBI probe, and not a BCCI appointed probe, a CBI probe. Let the CBI do a probe, an investigative agency which has credibility. Let us get to the root of the problem. Let us do a time-bound probe and bring back IPL season 8.
Scrap the IPL, argues Gulu Ezekiel, Mr. Mutaiya. He says the format is rotten to the core. Everyone associated with it gets tainted in some fashion, Mr. Mutaiya.
It's changed, but I wouldn't abolish the IPL. I wouldn't scrap it at all. It's an excellent product. It gives tremendous opportunities for youngsters to come up. So I don't think we should go to the extreme and scrap IPL.
Okay.
So what we should do is now suspend it for the time.